I guess I'm ready. I suppose I'm ready. Yeah, everything seems to be working all right. Good, good, good for me. Copy this, paste it here, and copy this, paste it there, and now we're done. Cool. And we're live from space. Hey, hip peeps, how are you? This is a bit too far away. It feels a bit too far away from me. I'm right here. Happy birthday, Circle. Good to see you here. All right. There you go. That's a bit better for me. Dismiss. Now, it's been a while since I've been on this channel live streaming. Hope you're doing all right over there. This guy doesn't want to stay seated. There you go. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing good. Don't worry about me. How are yous? Enjoying yourselves? Hope you're having a good evening. Hope you're having a good evening. It's a good morning for me. Here's my morning coffee. No, it's not. Oh boy, 3 a.m. Toku. Nice to see you here. It's not my birthday, no. Circle just being a big dum-dum. Always. Anyway, how are you? I'm up in space, apparently. Flexing my merch. Gino Hammer Productions. Very snazzy, very sweet, very cool, very swag. I like it a lot. Looks really good. It turned out great. So if you want to snack some Gino Hammer Productions merch yourself, link down below for my merch site, genosamuel.com. It feels good. It looks good. Looks sweet. Of course, this is very reminiscent of the old Warner Communications logo. That's the entire idea. And this is, of course, the logo that you see at the start of the Terra Nova documentary, which is, of course, on my channel. Up on my channel. It's up there, still there. Thank you so much for all your kind words to everyone who has watched the Terra Nova, The White Silence documentary. Greatly appreciate all your kind words. Happy Christian Love Day to everyone. CLD. D's nuts. Love this cue. So anyway, what are the updates in my life these days? It's been I've been very slowly working on a certain documentary for this channel, which is going to be up at some point, I imagine. I really can't say what day, but it's coming along nicely. There's a little hint of it on my Patreon, I think for the $2 tier, if you want to check it out. There's like a little preview of what's happening. Desperado Dan. Fuck! It is early. I cannot read. Desperado Dan, thank you very much. I missed last stream. I hope this makes up for it. It does so. It does so much, and I can some updates to YouTube apparently since I've last been here. I can like and heart super chats. Cool, I guess. Just lets you know that I can just lets you know that I can notice them. In addition to reading them and looking at them, I can also heart them. So just in case you don't feel left out. All right. Now it puts me in a funny situation where now I have to heart every single super chat that comes along. Anyway, yes, the next topic for this channel will be the Otabenga video, retrospective, if you will. I'm still debating whether I'm going to be using Unreal Engine 5 for some of the animations, or am I going to stick to Blender? Of course, I'm going to stick to Blender for the modeling, of course, because that's kind of a modeling thing, you know, Blender. Then I can just import everything over into Unreal Engine 5, which I kind of vaguely started studying a little bit ago, but then I got busy with other stuff. In case you're here, you might understand what I've been busy with. Happy CLD day, apparently. So, just thinking that the animations will look a lot better if I did them with Unreal Engine 5 instead. Just gonna turn down the music just a little bit. This is of course the Laika soundtrack, available on Spotify as well. I do like those animations, you know. It adds an extra quality to the videos, I believe, to these documentaries at least, because my monkey fell down. Because I can't really do them with the other channel, you know. I mean, I can try, but it's just gonna look weird now. Also, I've been doing them for so long, it's kind of weird to just start adding animations and like informative graphics and whatever to these things. It just kind of seems out of place at this point, so I kind of have to stick with my MO. But my MO for this channel is quite different. You know, got lots of animations, got lots of text on the screen, and no, whatever. If you've seen Terran Over the White Silence, you probably noticed all the animations that went along. Honestly, it helped me a lot to understand the story as well, because making those animations, like showing where all those different expedition parties were at that particular point, you know, that kind of made me better understand what all these people in these books are talking about, you know, because all these people, like for example Captain Scott in his own diaries, Commander Evans in his own book, Cherry Guard in his book, and I read all these books, and they're talking about all these events that are taking place, and they're talking about these landmarks that they're passing, that they're around, that they get to, and I really don't have any idea what they're talking about, really, because they're kind of talking like everyone knows what they're talking about. And of course, in your personal diaries, you probably just you're talking about, like, you know, basically kind of train of thought kind of a deal where, you know, because you know what you're talking about and no one else is reading your diary, so you're always gonna know what you're talking about, I suppose. But it's kind of weird to read someone else's diary and they're like being quite personal and vague about stuff, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So just to have this 3D map ready, I had to make it myself, of course, and that was neat, and I used it, and yeah, it was good. It's good stuff. It was like I think close to 50 minutes of CGI in that video. It was a huge bulk of the entire runtime, and of course Laika also had quite an array of animations itself. It was pretty neat to do. They're of course very different. For the moment I haven't really aimed for making like more realistic animations, which I'm kind of gonna do in some aspects for the Otabenga documentary. I'm also gonna try to add like a little sort of fictional narrative elements to it, kind of vaguely, just to make it more interesting at least, and to try to probably expand my my filmmaking whatever techniques, I suppose. Gino, have you ever thought about potentially doing a mini-series on the Cold War and its impact on the world? I have not, but I do have this idea of creating a Soviet Russia era YouTube channel devoted just for topics around that. I think some will be really cool. But again, of course, that's miles and miles away in the towards the such a long distance away into the unknown future, you know. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to be able to do that, unless I'm incredibly fortunate with my other avenues and I can afford to make even yet another channel. Another channel that's not going to be called Gino Samuel anything, honestly. Because I do have an affinity for Russia and the Soviet era, you know? Because my parents came from that era. They're not exactly Russian, but they're, you know, from the Soviet Union, you know, just a neighboring country. tiny neighboring country, and of course they're greatly affected by whatever's happening over there. I heard some of the stories they tell. It's not all doom and gloom, honestly. In comparison to how the Communist Party was managing Lithuania, honestly, it's much better than it is now. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever one you prefer. Honestly, I could probably just make a whole documentary like based on interviews with my dad, and his experiences. He had some very colorful experiences in his time there. My mother too. They traveled a lot, honestly. They were musicians, and my dad was a soldier for a little bit. And yeah, my mom especially traveled all around the Soviet Union and all those little countries surrounding Russia and Russia itself. Hey Ben, how are you? Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you're looking well, though I can't see. I'm sure you're looking well. I'm just so happy about the way the soundtrack for the Laika documentary turned out. This is my favorite soundtrack I've done so far. Of course, Terra Nova is a close second. Wedding soon, about to play. Ooh, I thought the wedding had passed already. Looking forward to it. Desperado Dan. That's very interesting. My father served in the army in West Berlin and said that he always felt on edge. He claimed that despite West Berlin being a good place, he felt like at any time, I suppose, he'd be attacked. July 13th. Whew, it's coming up soon. Jolene, hello. How's the coffee? The coffee's alright. It's Baggio. If you know that brand. I believe it's Arabica. Oh no, Circle, don't give me that. All right, Circle, let's see. I've been practicing my Russian, so let's see if I can read Cyrillic here. Ты понимаешь по-русски хорошо? Okay, I got that one. I love this Russian polka kind of mood happening here. I really love this cue. Turn it up. If I think in A minor, so let me just transpose real quick. for that. It's called Dogs from the Laika soundtrack. Play Chrono Triggers, a Chrono Trigger song so I can sleep. No, I cannot do that. Did you go to music school? You're after witnessing that, you think I went to a music school? Yes, I went to a music school actually for 2 years. But anyway, that's besides the point. I didn't stay there for very long, clearly. 1000 beat. All right. Any future ideas for this channel? I have lots of ideas. I just recently talked about the Otabenga topic, which is just a topic that I'm working on currently. It's getting a bit too hot in here. Let me just adjust. There you go. Finally, it's getting too hot in here. Otabenga, the story of the temporary captive of the Bronx Zoo, who was caged in a zoo as an apparent stunt to showcase the missing link, as it were, between apes and man. What a sad story. Okay. Okay, Circle. Let's see what you wrote. Yep, that means me. You sure? You sure? I'm not sure what those letters are. Плохо говорю по-русски, лол. Anyway, I kind of... Yo, Matt Osborne. How are ya? Sound just... Yeah. Thanks for joining, Matt. Ooh. Honestly, I just feel like, nah. I'll do that later. I'll jam later. Besides the Otabenga video, I got other stuff lined up. Of course, they're lined up. I just need time to make them. Hopefully, there'll be more time after this next month. There should be more time to work on my other stuff. Went out for you too? There'll be more time after this next month. Anyway, maybe it was a temporary problem, but I'm still here. I'm sure. I'm still here. I'm still here. Hello? Yep. I'm still here. Beyond that topic, I got videos lined up about the death of disco, the violent death of disco. That's a topic that I'm interested in a lot as well. Anyway, and that was a crazy time at the height of discomania. And there was this disc jockey who really hated disco for whatever reason, and he kind of successfully killed disco, like actually killed a style of music. Can you believe that shit? Anyway, I'm not gonna delve in too much of details about that, but just look forward to the video whenever it comes out. I'm going to make the music for all these documentaries, of course. That's kind of my thing here. I want to do all the soundtracks as well for all the Geno Samuel 3 documentaries. Apart from the yokai stuff, that's other stuff. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to go back to yokai. Depends on my mood, really. My favorite disco album. I don't really listen to disco albums so much, though I do have some disco songs that are quite liked by me. Like Leo Sayer, of course. What the hell is it called? You know. Leo Sayer, you know? I cannot remember the name of the song. Thunder in My Heart, that's it. Anyway, the control radio DJs had back in the day is crazy to think about, considering how we access music today. Yeah, things have changed. Yes. Because disco craze, it was actually a craze. It was an epidemic. It was a disco epidemic, honestly, because everything was being infected by disco at that point. not only was it such a popular style of music, just just like music, like for listening to, for example, since it was so popular, disco was taking over all the radio stations as well. Because radio was king back in those days still, and it was taking over the other styles of music at that point. Basically, after the bulk of the 70s, where it was just about lots of excess and prog rock, for example, and the birth of glam rock as well. Towards the late 70s, you got into the more simpler styles of music, such as punk on the one end, and then you got disco on the other end. Disco died almost as fast as dubstep. Dubstep was a thing too, Off the Wall by Michael Jackson is an awesome disco album. I showed this little bit. Love this cue. I'm gonna pause it for now. I showed this bit in my other music stream, but does anyone know this one song from Off the Wall, Michael Jackson? Stay with me. The lady is it? No, it's not the lady in my life, is it? I'm gonna check it out. I think it's the lady in my life. No. The lady in my life is a different thing. I know that. No, let me listen once, because I'm sure this is from the. No, it's not that one. There's a song on Off the Wall that that sounds an awful lot like "Stay With Me" by Miki Matsubara, of course. Love never felt so good. No, life, heaven can't wait. What is that song? I feel like it was it's the Falling in Love. That's it. It's the Falling in Love. Just listen to this. Have you ever heard of the Alan Parsons Project? Of course I know about the Alan Parsons Project. Yeah. It's the Falling in Love. Exactly. I think you know what I mean. Just listen to this.
It's the falling in love that's making me high. It's the being in love that makes me cry. Falling in love, got me falling in love.
Insane. The arrangement, man. Listen to this. It's almost note for note. It's just different enough so it's not exactly a copy, so it's legally okay. Insane. Bum bum ba-da-da-dum. Watashi wa watashi, anata wa anata to. Kusari. Thank you very much. The grind is real. Thank you so much. Hey, I actually have I can play a fanfare now. It's like what Ed Sheeran does. Ain't that the truth? Kusari, you don't happen to be the same person who does the Kusari Space channel, is it? Cause I like that one too. I cannot really like it. Can I like it? I cannot like your thing there. It just doesn't allow me. Much love, dude. You did the Daniel Larson documentaries. I guess you're just like me. Oh boy. Boy howdy. Just a bit of, I don't know what came over me. Just a bit of cringy. It's a good day, goodbye. Little fly, let's go. There you go. Now off to our regularly scheduled programming. Yeah, the Laika documentary has a big mix of musical styles and influences. It's got this, of course. There's lots of upright piano because I think that's a very Russian kind of thing to do. Lots of upright piano, like here, for example. Lots of it is improvised, of course. Kind of improvised. You know, basically, this is kind of how I make all my soundtracks for all my documentaries. I get, for example, I basically play the choral arrangements. Play the choral arrangements so breaks the sun. Not sure if you're vocal music, but so breaks the sun is the name of the arrangement. How's the temperature in China is at least over here it's damn cold. The heating is on for quite a while, and that's why I'm able to dress up in just this little fuzzy jacket and my my Gino Samuel Productions t-shirt. It's very snazzy. It's very comfortable. It looks super cool. You should check it out. Merch store linked down below. Plus Gino Samuel Productions keychain. Anyway, what's the temperature here? Let me just check. It's 3 degrees. No, 5. It's gone up a bit. Wow, it's 5, up to 8 degrees today. That's Celsius, by the way. For all you non-Americans out there. For all you Americans out there, I guess that's around 40 or something. Having an ice cream anyway. I wish I had a good ice cream with me. I'm doing well. Thanks for joining, Morgan. Was I gonna say something? Oh yes, that's right. So basically, there's a scene in any documentary, basically, and for example, this moment that I'm talking about is like 3 minutes long or 4 minutes long. I basically loop this section, and then I just kind of improvise on some kind of keyboard instrument, and I come up with some music, and I play it for this amount of time. And this is what you get, basically. This is how I make my music, which is I guess, I suppose, is quite similar to how most film music is made. I just don't write down anything, and I make it quite quickly, honestly. 24 degrees Fahrenheit. That's below freezing. I know that. What's the coldest that y'all been at in your life? G'day, Gina. G'day, Tapeworm. That's nice for you to drop by. It is freakishly warm if it's 18 degrees in February. I mean, it depends on where you are in the world, I suppose. When I was a child, of course, I was still growing up in Lithuania. It got down to minus 20 in some winters, definitely. I believe the rule is that if it's under minus 25, then you don't have to go to school. I think that's the rule. If it's minus 20, it's you kind of have to try to go to school. And I went to school by myself, by the way. I just got the bus and I walked there. It was a different time back then. And then more recently, I lived up in Hokkaido a few years ago for 1 year. Hokkaido, of course, is the northernmost major island of Japan, and that gets cold. That gets cold over there. It doesn't really get that cold, but it does get very, very snowy. It gets very windy too. You get lots of blizzards. I had a very terrible experience during one certain blizzard. I was on my way back from school. I was a teacher back there. Coldest we had was minus 23 C back in 2016. That is cold. Minus 23, right? Yeah, that's bad. It's cold. Love this queue too. Damn, all these queues are so great. Yeah, I got caught in the blizzard. I talked about this during my Trash Taste appearance on the Trash Taste podcast, and basically they said, it's pretty bad weather out there. Send the kids back, and all the other teachers stay back there because they're just they're being Japanese and whatever. And I worked on different rules compared to everyone else. That was just the rules. Is that I'm treated differently because I'm treated as basically on loan from a different country or whatever. So I'm not like the same level as the actual teachers in the Japanese school system. So I was let go too. I mean, just let go to go home, and I don't need to stay there anymore, you know. And it was on a good day, it's a 15-minute trek just by walking. It's a straight line, you know. This is a very tiny town, just basically one main road. This is basically the school is on one end of the town. Barely 5,000 people there, and my house is on the other end, and I had to walk. And the blizzard was absolutely terrible. It was difficult for me to breathe too. Very quote from the Trash Taste episode. Up his member, it was the butthole. That is true. It was up the butthole. I actually didn't know what kind of language I should have used back then. Should I have said asshole, or were they gonna have to censor me or what? So yeah, I got caught there. I was terribly cold, even though I was very well dressed. It was barely enough. I could barely breathe, you know, because of the wind and the snow in my face. It was like pushing me back, basically. Snow was getting into my boots. My toes were freezing. Basically, the snow got into my boots. The warmth of my body made them warm up. It was too cold for them to turn into steam, of course. So then just kind of started icing up my socks. Yeah, it was terrible. I got like, I remember now. I got back home, and I could not open the door because for whatever reason, I really don't understand why. It's like a metal door and a metal door frame. In the cold weather, of course, that's gonna ice up and freeze, you know, freeze shut, and I could not open the front door. It was a pull door, yeah, because from in Japan at least, this is one of the more distinct differences between like Japan and I suppose most of the West is that when you're inside your own home in the West, you open the door in, don't you? Right? Right? Because in Japan, you open the door out. In Japan. I believe that's the it's been so long, I cannot remember which way the doors go. It's crazy. I get a message here. Okay, sure. No worries. So then, yeah. So I had to pull the door basically, and I couldn't pull it. So then I decided to trek back. Can you believe? About halfway, like somewhere around the middle of the town, there was a convenience store, of course, and I thought that I would buy like one of those electric, matches, or heaters, like light. Those things with the flame, you pull a trigger and then a flame comes out and you can burn stuff with it, like that. like that, Door swing both ways. Dirty devil. Did you write convenience store out of that one? No, that was I wrote convenience store, actually a lighter. This is not quite I suppose it is like kind of lighter, but it's like a big thing, Anyway, I ran out of soundtrack. Let me reload with maybe the North Sentinel Island soundtrack. Complete music. Let's go. Let's play this instead. Stop it. Okay, there you go. You're being an asshole. So yeah, I bought that. I warmed up a bit at the convenience store, and I bought that lighter thing, and a torch. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I got back. Actually, I was on the way back from that convenience store, I believe. things were so terrible for me that I decided, you know what? I'm getting kind of tired. This is like a fork in the road. Like there's a T junction. There's got to be lots of. There's barely any people there, of course, outside because it's a blizzard and it's terrible. I wasn't living with my girlfriend at the time. No, she was in Sapporo in the big city there. I was in a tiny village, basically, an hour and a half away. And yeah, I was just deciding this is a nice T junction. There's bound to be some traffic happening along at some point soon. So I'm just gonna take a rest and sleep in that corner because I cannot handle this anymore. That's what I thought. I was getting sleepy, you know. I guess this is an onset of hyperthermia or whatever. I don't know. That's what some people said. But I decided, let's just try give it one more go and go back home again. So then I got back home, and I tried to open up the that lighter thing. God damn, it was too windy. The flame went out immediately. I could not like heat up the door and melt the ice or whatever. That's what I thought to do. I could not do that. I just gave it some more tugs, and I eventually opened it. Yeah, and then I recovered and everything's fine. And that's my worst. I believe that's my worst cold weather incident, personally, so far at least in my life. Nothing compared to what the guys over in Antarctica on the Terra Nova expedition experienced. I have a tiny flavor of what they might have gone through. But nothing quite like that. In your research on the North Sentinel Island, I wanted to ask, do we know if they have fire? I remember hearing years ago that they wait for lightning strikes to get fire. That's a theory that some people have. I believe. I mean, of course, they never observed the natives on North Sentinel Island make fire. Though I believe in the first reported sighting of North Sentinel Island, it was like in 1771 thereabouts. It was a surveying ship from Britain, and the guy just basically kind of passed by the island. He didn't really pay attention to it, but he did pass by it. He saw in the distance there were lights. So he figured in his diary, he wrote that he assumed it must be well populated. So the thinking is that those fires were like campfires. So it feels like, I mean, those lights were fires, campfires. And I believe in one of the later expeditions by a pundit, they came across a recently abandoned settlement, basically, of around 20 slant-roofed huts. And I think he said there was there were signs of extinguished fires in front of each one. I think that's what I heard. That's what I read. If I'm misremembering, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've read all that research. As soon as I make the video, I just drop it out of my head, because it's if I want to look at it again, I can watch the video, of course. So, didn't they see smoke from the ships? I think I remember something. I don't think anyone said anything about smoke. They did see lights, but I don't think they saw smoke. At one point, I don't think I actually mentioned this in the documentary, but around 2010, thereabouts, there was a photographed smoke and fire coming from the forest on the island. It was photographed from satellite, and people didn't know what to think. They thought is it like a wildfire or something? But it was soon extinguished. But it was like a significant like plume of smoke that was coming from the island. It was kind of surprising, I think, for the people who were observing it. So Yeah, it's kind of funny that those people just, the theory is that they just wait for lightning to strike and then they catch the fire and then spread it around. I really don't know if they can make it themselves. There's no evidence to support or disprove that theory. Still a mystery. Interesting thing about the Sentinelese and the other neighboring natives is that linguistically and grammatically, all the languages are quite similar, which possibly means that of course they come from a far away single source, and then they branch off into these different tribes and into these different locations, and then they developed their own languages after thousands of years. But grammatically, they're still quite similar. Like, for example, the languages of the Onga and the Jawas, for example, on those greater Andaman Islands, their languages don't have that many numbers. They have a word for one, they have a word for two, and if they possess more than two things, they just say many, and that's it. It's either one, two, or many. SS Arctic video from you would rule. Thank you. Is that the Arctic, the Collins Line ship that disappeared? Is that the one? Or am I thinking of the Pacific, the sister ship or something? Okay. Gino, can you kindly direct me to where I can watch the Cooking with Jack show live stream you did some time back? I would appreciate revisiting that wonderful content. Cannot, unfortunately. Cooking with Jack threatened to strike my channel unless I removed it, so I removed it, unfortunately. The one that involves sharks, drunken sailors, and rape from 1850. Oh, that one. Oh. Anyway, this is your 20-minute reminder that Gino Samuel Productions t-shirts available from the Gino Samuel store, linked down below. You can cook it with Gino. Also, Gino Samuel keychains based on the Warner Communications logo. Very snazzy, very sweet. I like it a lot. Very sturdy design. Very, very snazzy design. Also have the Dirk Simbach Columbia Pictures logo t-shirts. That's also very, very cool. Link down below. Please check it out. Very stylish logo. Thanks. Very, very, very heavily based on the Warner Communications logo. Warner Communications. By the way, yes. If you're talking about the SS Arctic, I imagine you've watched the Part-Time Explorer video on that subject, because that was a very good video, and honestly, honestly, he does good stuff in his own style, and it inspires me to do something similar, because I like boats. This is the Warner Communications logo. So you see, it's quite similar. This is of course a parody, That's how it is. It's a heavily parodic design, right there. You see, it's quite similar, but it's pretty cool. It looks like a GS, It's a stylized G and then S right there. You squint, it looks like a GS. Anyway. Of course, I have the Dirk Simbach design as well. I meant to delete the Warner Communications image, not my scene. So now this camera is defunct. Motherfucker. I'll try to bring it back. Anyway. Son of a bitch. Anyway, I'll get it back eventually. I have to restore everything anyway. So we're stuck on this camera for now. God damn it. So yes, the SS Arctic video is a really good video. His own style is his own style. So if I did something like that, it's very interesting, of course, because I like boats and I like boat catastrophes and stuff like that. I watched lots of videos about the Edmund Fitzgerald recently as well. So yes, I'd like to do those topics. And personally, I don't want to become a boat disaster guy because there's lots of them on YouTube already. But they're really cool topics as well. Really interesting stories. And the way I would present the SS Arctic, for example, maybe, you know, very, very detailed, based on official accounts. And yes, and it is the likes of Part-Time Explorer that inspired me to supplement my documentaries with my own 3D graphics. Of course, his stuff on SS Arctic back then, you know, a couple of years back, was a bit more primitive looking. After that, he got someone to make the videos with Unreal Engine, and looks much more sleek and stylish. Looks really, honestly, realistic, of course. I would absolutely watch a boat series from you, though. You got a talent for that sort of thing. You make everything you talk about engaging. Thank you. Thank you, Zenith. I followed, you know, Tom Linsky. Tom Linsky, right? It's Tom Linsky, I believe is his name. In case you don't know, Part-Time Explorer, the guy who runs the channel and makes the videos, or at least, I think he has some editors involved, and of course, he doesn't make the graphics himself, I believe, but he does the research and the writing, of course. The Indian professor who brought the Sentinelese gifts, they left the live animals and stuff, but took the cooking ware. That's why I figured they must have fire. Interesting. Yeah. Maybe a Titanic. Oh. I was getting to that. Anyway, Tom Linsky was, of course, attached to the Titanic Honor and Glory project. The, basically, the full-scale one-to-one recreation of the Titanic project, which is still in development. They still have a Patreon for that, and they're still updating it for, I don't know, like 10 years now. So Tom Linsky was involved with that as like the spokesperson behind it, the face of the company, if you will, for years and years. And he was basically the fundraiser behind that. Of course, he's a big Titanic buff himself. He was actually one of the earliest YouTubers, if you will. Back when the site first launched, he made a YouTube channel where he did a Lego Titanic stop motion animation, and he did some other Lego stuff, Lego Britannic or something, and he did some others, and then his video got taken down for alleged copyright infringement, and that's the end of that one. He decided not to make videos anymore, and then he came back in a big way, of course, with the Titanic Honor and Glory project. And then there was some infighting. There was some drama involved because he had huge ideas that was promising the audience, the Patreon supporters, and everyone who was following the project. He had huge, unbelievable ideas about the Titanic Honor and Glory project. It's like basically, in addition to modeling the entirety of the Titanic, 1-to-1. Completely, you know, completely recreating it digitally. He wanted, basically kind of like a basically plot, a game plot involved with the story as well. Basically, someone who's running away from the law for a crime he didn't commit, and he stows away on the Titanic. On her maiden voyage. You could probably do a rad Himalayan climbing video, maybe KT or early history or particular expedition. Yep. Cool mountain graphics involved. Definitely. Mountains are cool because you can make them look realistic, and they don't have to move, and you really don't have to animate a mountain moving. So anything. So is a large in China like a US medium for your shirt? The measurements for my t-shirts on the site have already been adjusted for US sensibilities. So a large in US is probably a large. In case you're not sure, I left detailed measurements for like sleeves and length and bust or whatever as well, both in cm and inches for y'all over there. Because if you're getting them from China, this is actually, can't see from here, but I can't prove it for you. But this is a 2XL from China. If you order an L from the site, you will get a 2XL, a Chinese 2XL, which is a US L. So it's already been adjusted for a non-Chinese audience for you. If you get an XL, that's a 3XL in China. Doesn't that make you feel bad, huh? So yes, a large on the site is a large for you. This is still live. Yes, it is still live. I had my Jet interview a few weeks ago, just waiting for a response. Wish me luck. Good luck, legendary RQA. Gotta go, but see you guys next time. By the way, saw the latest episode and just damn. See you next time, Davidson. You the goat, Otangi. Thanks for joining. I'm gonna stop in about 10 minutes or so don't worry about it. So what the hell was I talking about? Yeah, Tom Linsky. Fuck. He basically wanted to do an adventure game within a highly realistic Titanic recreation, which the developers at the time, of course, could not do. He wanted 3,000 NPCs, of course, to match very accurately with all the passengers that were on board, and he would model them. Someone would model them after the real people, you know. And they would basically do all the activities that the real passengers were recorded to have done, and were able to interact with all the NPCs. And it's a whole bunch of bullshit. Basically said, we can't do this. And then this Tom Linsky fundraising guy decided to not fundraise anymore. Kind of got bored with it, and basically, yeah, there was a lot of drama involved. The Titanic Honor and Glory subreddit, for example, really hated what was happening with the developers and with the management. They kind of lost faith in it. So yeah, Tom parted ways with the rest of the developers and the founders of the project. So now, honestly, since then they've been back on track, and they've definitely rejiggered their goals for the project. And what they definitely can do, and they're still working towards doing, is make an accurate, basically, museum, a digital museum of the Titanic. The Los Andes tragedy, is that about the football team? Would you ever consider selling briefs that say dirty crab briefs and panties for the ladies? No, I would not do that. Why would I do that? Anyway, so yeah, they're back, and they're being vague about whether or not you would be able to live through the sinking. Because before, for years, they've been saying that they were gonna model the sinking sequence as well. So like, if you're inside within the Titanic, you have to escape before it sinks. And that's kind of like the goal. Kind of like a little adventure. They even made a little preview, like a little preview downloadable portion of the game where you're just basically stuck inside the spiral staircase landing, and the water's going up, and you can't do anything about it. And then that's it, proof of concept. That's right. And they were, yeah, and they distributed that, and there's not much. Honestly, they're being very quiet about whether or not that's going to be implemented into the final version of Titanic Honor and Glory. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen. They're just going to make a museum, basically. An empty museum. I mean, not empty, but like devoid of people, I'm sure. It's probably going to be some tidbits, and you can explore, and there's probably going to be some historical annotations about what you're looking at, of course, for learning purposes. What will be the next doc, or are you talking taking a break for a bit in general. I'm not taking a break in general, but I will be working on docs for this channel, definitely, such as the Otabenga documentary, in addition to some others like the Great Emu War of Australia, the violent death of disco. Sometime later, I will work on the William McGonagall documentary, because that's quite a lengthy project, and I want to do, I want to get some help for that, like illustrators and the voice actors, and I'm thinking that I want to do some miniatures, some depictive miniatures for that documentary as well. So it's gonna take a lot out of me, both, I guess, monetarily and physically and timely. So I'm thinking I'm saving the William McGonagall documentary for my 100K special. If I ever reach 100,000 subscribers on this channel, which probably likely, if I keep going and keep doing stuff and putting good stuff out at least, I will. Excuse me. I will do it. I will do it. Now, like, there is no way that I can. Just the camera's just not active now. It sucks anyway. I'll work on this scene setup later. Hey, Damon, how are ya? Hey, still have coffee. I'm so happy. Cold coffee on a cold morning. So yeah, that's pretty much all the updates that I have. That's pretty much what's happening with me. Music and documentaries. That's my life for the moment. It's not a bad life, mind you. Good stuff. Good stuff. And of course, this was the intro music for North Sentinel Island. Say the funniest thing ever said. Cannot do that. I don't know many funny things. I'm not a funny guy, honestly. Thanks, Lord Baldy. Thanks very much. I greatly appreciate everyone here. Why Otabenga and not any of the other people kept in zoos? I'm not sure, honestly. I thought it was an interesting story. That's all. I gotta pick one, you know? Other than that, I always miss the streams because my YouTube notifs are ass. I'm good. Lamau. Well. Yeah, well. Yeah. I feel like someone mentioned Otabenga in the comment section of North Sentinel Island. That's how I came across that name. I think someone suggested that as a topic, and I looked it up and was like, okay, I can probably do that. I do like making documentaries and, you know, videos about single subjects rather than just like a generalization of what's happening. You know, I just kind of I like doing biopics. You know, the William McGonagall documentary is also an example of such a biopic. The script has been kind of ready for years and years now, maybe 5 years, close to 5 years. It's 18,000 words, I believe. Typically, a Christian documentary would be about 6,000, so it will be longer, close to 2 hours, I'd say. A longer effort, and considering that I'm going to be employing voice actors and illustrators, it's going to take a while. And there's some aspects where I want to animate, like physically animate. I could do the CG illustrations as well, like I do with my other documentaries here, but also I can, I want to do some miniature work, because I like miniatures as well. I like watching lots of Boylai Hobby Time. He makes miniatures and stuff like that. It's really cool stuff, really inspiring stuff. And for example, the William McGonagall story is very intrinsically attached to the Tay Bridge of Tay in Scotland. and the Tay Bridge disaster. So I kind of want to animate that, like actually make a little model train set of the Tay Bridge, and just have it, coasting along as the William McGonagall actor is reciting one of the Tay Bridge poems. That'd be kind of cool. It's a lot of effort for just like something that's on screen for about 30 seconds, but I think it's worth it. I mean, it's the same case for any of the animations, because they take a long time to do. Modeling is one thing. Modeling takes a long time, of course, and in addition to the modeling is the rendering, especially if they have lots of high-res textures, like all the Antarctica animations of like the 3D Antarctica map model. It takes a while to render. And that's why that's one of the reasons why it took a long time for me to actually release the Terra Nova documentary, because the animations took such a long time to do. Do you mean stop motion miniature stuff? No. Yeah, it's gonna film like an actual functional train set, and just film it as if it's a real train. Yeah, cool stuff. And maybe make some models of the landscape of Scotland over there. That'd be cool too, maybe. Easy stuff, nothing. I mean, easy. I like landscapes, even in CG and modeling and all stuff like that. I like stationary landscapes. I like mountains. I like cities. You can move the camera around and nothing else moves, and that's nice. On North Sentinel Islands, it was difficult for me to get the water to look right, because water moves around the island. But yeah, I'll see if I can if I can get Unreal Engine to work for me. I have it, and I've been experimenting with it a little bit, but never really made anything for it. Still learning the ropes. So anyway, this is the end for me, for the stream at least. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much for your fun chats and your super chats. Greatly appreciate it. More stuff is coming along the way sometime soon. There's a Patreon for all y'all interested parties down there. Link down below. Geno Samuel Productions merch, primed and ready from genosamuel.com. Links are down below as well. Please check them out. Look forward to your upcoming documentaries. Me too. Thanks. I ordered large because I couldn't find medium option. That is true. Honestly, you can probably fit a large very nicely. Because I believe it should be at least large. Because I'm just saying this is 2XL and it fits me quite snugly. So I think large is like a slightly less large than a regular large in the West. I think you made the right choice. Thank you very much, Circle. Thanks for the stream, Gino. I hope this week is kind to you. I hope this year is kind to you too. How long are pre-orders going to be up? Some pre-orders already not pre-ordered anymore. They're already out. Caps are soon going to arrive at the shipping place. They're not going to be pre-ordered anymore. Probably another day or so. This includes the regular Sonichu medallions. Just one more day of pre-order, and then they're going to be sent out. Sonichu and Roaster couples also going to be sent out in a day or two. What else is there? The keychains. Both the Geno Samuel Productions keychains and Sonichu keychains are also not going to be pre-ordered anymore for after this day or two. They're going to be sent out and available to buy immediately, basically. And yes, and some of the other medallions are still going to be up for pre-order for a while. Angry Sonichu, I've not started working on the Angry Sonichus yet. They're still going to be a while, but they will be available soon. I mean, I'm not gonna remove the pre-order option. It just means basically like it's gonna take longer for you to get them. Like because I'm still working on them, even the totems too. The totems are also available for pre-order. I purchased the 3D models. They're on the way, but they're not being worked on yet. But they will be soon. So just if you're buying through a pre-order, just be a bit more patient. But it will get to you. I just joined the live stream. What is your next documentary? Next documentary is going to be on Otabenga, one of the many people apparently in U.S. history who was wrongfully caged in a zoo for a little bit, as an example of as a sort of missing link between apes and man. So yeah, that's gonna be an interesting one. So anyway, thank you so much for all your support. And yeah, this is it from me. Finally, I gotta go someplace. Y'all take care of yourselves and take care of someone else. Have a good day. Have a good week. Have a good month. Have a good year. Until next time. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Thanks so much.